My Gavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I'm Eric Jonathan, the current head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the Khazad-dûm, what are they called? The Dwarves of Khazad-dûm. Thoroughly looking forward to... Oh, curse you, Candle! Thoroughly looking forward to continuing our attacks on Dunland. Now, before we begin, there's an interesting little new addition I can show all of you, thus continuing the belief that this isn't really version 1.1 nor version 1.2. The version I'm playing is somewhere in between. And first and foremost, that is new banners. Now, I was strolling through Total War Centre's forums, and I came across the Black Goldfish's little mini-mod for Divide and Conquer, and I liked it so much I asked to add it. So what it is, I'm determined, I'm purposefully zooming out at the moment, is there are new banners here. And you will not have them in your game, but I have them in mine. So Angmar's got this now nice little jail cell thing. The Misty Mountains have gone back for the skull. Erebor have a more stylized dwarven icon, as do Ered Luin. Stylized one there. The Breelanders have changed to the older one. I think they used to use in the base Third Age when they were free peoples of Eriador, which is cool. I like that one. Dunland, not too dissimilar, I don't think. Just the Black Raven. Enedwythe is looking like this, but in the forum it's actually two circular fish, so I think just the version he's released hasn't updated that yet. But so Enedwythe might change. Rohan have gone a lot more to their roots with the famous horse of Rohan that you see in many of their banners. Isengard obviously just a hand. Gondor have the nice tree of Gondor. This is what the old banners used to be, so I think it is a stark improvement. A very, very good improvement. Mordor now just have a very interesting version of the eye. There's the Candish sun with whatever we think that little anchory thing is. Harad now have just a black serpent, no banner behind. Umbar have the letter, which they've had for some time, and it's obviously a Sindarin letter. And off the top of my head, I have entirely forgotten once again what it means. I have to get my book out. I've written it down fully, the alphabet of Tengwa Tetar form. Runes still have very similar image. All of the elves are basically the same, so there's no need to show you those. Dorwinion hasn't changed, really. To be honest, Dale is the one I like the most. It's a cool little image. I just like that. I think that's good. So, there's changes across the board, and Dol Guldur now have the screaming head of, I can only assume, K'mul or the Necromancer. But something that this just flagged up is obviously I've toggled Fog of War, so this is how the world is doing. And I noticed down in the south that Harad had got this middle section, so I thought that the game had screwed up. I don't know if you remember, but a while back I did some edits, and when we came back to our save game, even though, say, Gondor still owned Tarnost, the map showed it as being owned by Harad, and I was like, oh crap, I've broken the game again. And then I thought, hang on actually, why don't you just go and zoom in? And then I realised that actually Harad do own Tarnost. So whilst we've been not really doing anything with Dunland up here, Harad are ruining Gondor at the moment, broken through to Tarnost, and Kandor even supporting across the river. So it's going really poorly. Gondor are going to die, is all I can take away from it. But look, Faramir's still alive though. Maybe there's hope for them yet. So there you go, new little images there. Also, of course, not of course, but also now, I think we're on end turn, so I should probably do that before I drone on more about modding. Oh, we've not got map info. Would they want it now?
You wish to discuss?
What are you feeling?
No, until we meet again.
Another thing that I have got that now none of you have, and indeed none of you, owing to Total War Centre's decision, and that is, it's end the turn, loading screens. The loading screens I now have, I have 244 of them, courtesy of El Monstero. He did give me 351, and I reduced that to 244. And they include virtually all of the original ones, with a few taken away. And then most of the ones that you've now got in 1.2, and then obviously an extra 100 on top of that. So, plenty of loading screens. And you'll probably see some new ones, but then because I haven't played with any of the ones that were released with 1.2, not really. I saw about 3 or 4 of them, and then I've immediately got these more that he has since released. I won't know if they're brand new or ones that you yourselves have. Anywho, enough of modding talk. Let's dive right in. Captain Ugzag is attacking Khazad-dûm West. He comes armed with forces of the Misty Mountains' best: heavy goblin crossbowmen, infantry, and have they got any halberdiers? No. Oh, yep, and heavy goblin halberds. There's a Mountain Orc Hunter battalion in there, but they're captain of the Warg Riders, so their captain's probably going to die almost straight away, as they often do. they foolishly attack us. Now, with 1.2 now having been out for a while, we can reflect upon a few things, and one of those things, there's Old Man Willow, one of those things is that a lot of people have crashes. Now, a lot of people always have crashes. The mod has been downloaded a lot, and we get maybe 2 crash reports a day. We get maybe 50 downloads a day, so we're doing all right. But for those of you who do suffer the crashes, part of me is wondering, given all the crash logs that have been posted, part of me wonders if maybe the crashes are coming from the new campaign AI we have from Z3N, and perhaps it hasn't necessarily been as tested as we might have hoped. But then I also appreciate that that's probably just my own, dare I say, prejudice against it, because the Z3N's edition of his battle AI, I wasn't present when that went down. I was in New Zealand, and Hummingbird oversaw that change, and indeed Hummingbird made that very decision. And the battle AI is substantially better, and I rarely get crashes in battle, so no qualms, but many of the reports I've seen from people of campaign crashes, invariably the last known thing to have happened was something with the campaign AI. But then the rational side of my brain then also suggests that unless an event happens a millisecond before the crash, it has to be discounted as a cause. And this is something that many people don't really seem to appreciate from the forum. And that is that the crash log will display events down to the millisecond. So, say the 17th hour of the day, the 19th minute of the day, no, it goes after how long you loaded the game up, doesn't it, actually? So isn't it like 9 hours, 5 minutes, 20 seconds, and then 910 milliseconds? And if things can happen, things obviously with scripting happen immediately, they're instant. So a script can run at the 800th millisecond of a second, and then another script can run at the 802nd millisecond. And unless they appear directly before the crash, so ideally within the same second, so somewhere in the from 0 to the 999th millisecond, then 9 times out of 10 they're not related to the crash at all, and it's just one of those something went wrong. But then the thing that's been perplexing me over my tenure as modding leader and my time as a modder is that these crashes must come from somewhere. And as people frequently remind me, games like Stainless Steel have virtually no crashes. But then I do rectify that by thinking that Stainless Steel doesn't overhaul the game. Stainless Steel is a base game modifier, so it changes the units, it changes the names, it changes little pieces here and there, but it doesn't drastically overhaul the game with features that it wasn't really intended to do. Things that it wasn't really intended to do, I should say. So, the moral of today's little epic ramble, as we should call it, is, it's not really epic, is it? But the moral of today's little ramble is that I think because the scope of Third Age is so grand, there are always going to be crashes that we just have no idea how to deal with. Now, people that report crashes every sort of 2 to 3 turns, I really am sorry, but that is entirely on you. And not saying you've done anything wrong. I mean, normally it does mean you've done something wrong. I can't beat around the bush with this, but I'm not directly accusing you of of doing something wrong, of not doing the correct steps. But unfortunately, it is pretty much down to your computer, your setup, how it's all installed, what kind of things you did that cause crashes all the time. So it's very difficult to help, which is why I don't... I mean, after years, I think I'm allowed to not, but I don't tend to reply when people comment on the forum or on YouTube or on ModDB just saying, I get crashes every sort of 2 to 3 turns, how do I help? What can I do? Is there going to be a fix for this? That's the thing that always gets me. People always assume it's a problem with the mod. People are very, 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 very hesitant to say that the fault is with them. But as I say, I'm not attempting to place blame or anything, and if I can find a way to improve stability, I would. But then the problem that you all must have to foresee is that the game for me is remarkably stable. I honestly get maybe a crash every 50 to 100 turns. It's like I can't physically replicate your problem, ergo I can't therefore fix your problem either, and it's a constant source of bother. So I've only wanted to talk about that because obviously there wasn't a video yesterday, so there weren't too many comments. So I was dwelling on the comments that there were on YouTube, and many of them are just people talking about crashes and wanting assistance and whatnot. So I wanted to just cover that we're doing pretty much everything that we can do, and there's little left that we can actually do. And also, while I think about talking about new things, that's not new at all, is it? I should have spoken about it at the beginning, and I am sorry, THF. But many of you may have seen that I collaborated with THFE Productions. And I'll pop a link to the video in the description. And essentially, it's a collaboration on information from lore. Now, if you know of the channel, unfortunately, I had the pleasure of being a subscriber long before he contacted me. But it's a channel with excellent quality documentary-style videos of the features that you may come across in the games that you play, which is a cracking idea. So mostly it covers Rome, but he uses footage from Rome too, and he essentially elaborates on features of the game first and foremost. So say there's a unit that you particularly like, there might be a documentary about that unit and how it historically acted. And it's all very, very, very cool. And he also does battle overviews, like real-life battle overviews. So using the Rome 2 game engine to provide the visuals and then covering real-life battles. It's really cool. And he wanted to branch out into Lord of the Rings, and he saw my Lord of the Rings lore series. And so he approached me. And so for the first few videos, essentially what happened, until I rather unfortunately ran out of time, in my spare time, was he would propose an idea for an episode topic. I would kind of vomit all of the lore knowledge I knew and that he knew onto the topic, and then he'd bash together a script. I wrote it. I narrated it, and then he then provided all of the background work. So I've done very little. I've essentially just used the bits of knowledge that he didn't have that I did to fill in some gaps, and then I just narrated it. Which didn't obviously take too long, but combined with all the things that I do for my own channel, it was a bit. But and so that's the video. And the first one is about the Laketown pikeman unit. Now this time he uses footage from the upcoming Lord of the Rings mod for Attila. I can't even remember what they're called. I think it's just called the Third. No, it's not called Third Age. I can't remember. Someone will know. But there's a Lord of the Rings mod coming out for Attila. The head of said mod is actually somebody who I used to work with frequently. And in the modding world, you could say that I know him quite well. And I knew him as Jocks, but he now goes by the name Mr. J. But anyway, so he's headed up the mod. I used to work for the mod for a little bit as well. I did a little bit of writing, a little bit lore knowledge stuff. But anyway, he's used their visuals, and I must say they are cracking. And to provide this video. So it's a little bit of a lore collab. Now, it is what many people have asked for some time, and that is essentially a lore video that involves me, where I don't just ramble. There is a script. But the downside of that, and many of you may notice it if you listen to my lore videos and then listen to the video, which, as I say, is linked in the description, I really don't like my scripted voice. When I talk just normally, as I'm talking to you, it's almost as though I pretend I'm talking to another human being. So you add ups and downs in your speech, you emphasize certain points, bits and bobs like that. But when you read from a script, I just read decidedly more boringly, if I can use such a word. And I was very critical when I listened back to the recordings I'd done for him. And I was very concerned that he would listen to them as well and think, oh, I shouldn't have asked this guy to help. Because this is no good. But it seemed to like it. And with the music added as well and the visuals, I think it actually works quite well. But I still think I could improve. But it was the first time I'd branched out into a scripted one. But if you ever want to know why I don't tend to script my own lore videos, it's because I can't stand my script voice. So my reading from a script voice. But anyway, so do check out the video if you're interested. It's about the Laketown Guard. It's only 9 minutes or so long, 9:35 or something like that. And it is just me talking. But the visual element is really on point. And it just tells you a little bit about Esgaroth itself. And the fictitious unit, the Laketown Guard. Do stay tuned on his channel. I don't know how few and far between what his upload schedule is, but I can at least tell you that I have recorded a few others already, so there's at least like 2 more to come. But there's a great many topics he hopes to cover, and seeing the video actually finally published and out and seeing the finished product, I must admit, really bullies one on to want to actually to assist more and to find the free time. And so I am more than willing to assist going forward. So there should be more, is all I should say about that. But if we just briefly return to this actual battle that I should be talking about and I'm currently not. The AI has just done most peculiar tactic. The best unit, the halberds, are staying right out the way. The next best, the infantry, are also not even in the city yet, and they're just stalling. They're just standing around. Oh, you don't think they're waiting for the crossbows? Right, finish those crossbows off. You're no longer in defense. Neither are you. And you, gentlemen, I want you to properly attack. There we are. Oh, and we've broken them with a lovely little attack. Delightful. Now, I also spoke of fearing that my channel's subscribers were stagnating somewhat, but in hindsight, that isn't actually accurate. Since getting to 15,000, or since I last checked, which was what, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I had something like 15,085 when I recorded the last video, and today I have 15,283. So that's not bad at all. Getting about 100 subscribers a day is phenomenal, and I'm more than pleased with that. So no cause for alarm. And on we go, onwards and upwards. I'm also very pleased now that this version of the mod, that my version that you're all seeing on YouTube, has a few little things that your games don't have. Because it just re-adds that incentive that my videos always had, which was, these are the things you're all going to be able to play with soon enough. But given that 2.0 is so far away, I'm afraid, it really is. Not necessarily from a, like, oh, we've just released, so we're definitely, whatever happens, not going to release a new patch for a long time, just to, like, take a break or whatever. But more from a kind of point of view that we want, there's not going to be, if we're going to implement big changes, we want to wait a little bit of time and implement some really big changes. So, it's part of the reason why 2.0 is going to be quite a way away. Alright, let's speed it up. It looks like the enemy is going to wait till they've run out of arrows before they continue their attack. Right, you guys go back to being defensive. I'm going to test out a theory that somebody suggested, which is to put a normal melee unit in amongst their ranks. You guys stay there, you're in support, you're at the back. Their archers don't do too much to us, so... see if it works. See if the pikes can attack through them. We've we've lost a lot. We have lost a lot. That's I bet that's the pike, the crossbows. And here, we'll leave it at time 6. I think they are waiting until those goblin archers have finished firing. And the hunters are doing their chanting nonsense. Stand strong, my bearded friends. Oh, look at them. They look so good. I'm not actually 100% on the name Zenith Guard. I'm not sure I really like it all that much, but I liked it more than Centurions. There was an argument, or a debate, not an argument, no one really ever gets heated arguments. I can think of 1 or 2 times where some of our testers have been a little, dare I say, and pardon the pun, testy. But there was a debate about whether or not calling them Centurions would evoke images of Romans or images of Dwemer automatons. Automatons, however you pronounce it. Automatons, automatons, automatons. And I was firmly in the camp that calling them Centurions just makes them sound like Romans. That's just what Romans are. And so we opted not to go for Centurions in the end. Go back into shield wall to crush through them. Oh, they're just going for the push tactic now, aren't they? Right. That means all we're going to have to do now is form a line. Archers, you're not getting involved. Come away. There we are, we got them stopped. So they've just totally wasted their best unit by sending it to its death. It's just ridiculous. And here come their archers. Well, 2 can play at least swamp them until they are dead tactic. There we are, they've broken and they're dead. So where's the rest of their army? Just standing outside. Not even bothered. Alright. Well, we'll move up then. Oh, we've lost a lot of those, haven't we? form a nice, long, thin shield wall. Engineers in behind. And how about some even more engineers in there? I don't think they're going to attack us, and I'm not going to probe them, so unfortunately we just have to wait. That is 40% of their army standing out there. Can you believe that? 40%, that's outrageous. And who are these that got away? Ah, 3 archers. They did well to get away, didn't they? Stand strong, my bearded friends.
Keep those spears ready.
Not too long, it'll be a couple of minutes. I apologise. The Haradrim idea of making them unite before you can attack the rest of the world is very much a work in progress. We're discussing it at length before any decision is really made, and it won't be implemented lightly. Other things that are currently being spoken of, well, lots of just little minor changes really. There are 1 or 2 things that I don't really want to talk about for fear of causing mass hysteria. But rest assured, if there were major bugs, we would be dealing with them. Unfortunately, there just aren't any that we know of. Oh, I'm so loath to move the camera because the game slows down when you move the camera. It goes back to 1. But it's just nice to look at some other things other than our army. And I really don't want to tempt them. Like, if we don't have to fight against the goblins' best available unit, then there's absolutely no need. But it does unfortunately mean that we have about a minute and a half, I would suggest, of waiting. And I apologise wholeheartedly. Feel free to skip along for a minute and a half. I mean, I'll try not to say anything important. I mean, it doesn't matter. I say much of the stuff I say doesn't get heard anyway, does it? Let's be honest. I think now is the time, though, to attack north. Getting a bit bored of fighting at Khazad-dûm because it's such an easy battle map, both sides. So I think now is the time to build an army and march on Zag-Kala. Dunland is essentially defeated, so we can fight on 2 fronts. Look at them all moving around. I wonder why they are bugged. Can't think. I don't really know, I'm afraid. I was going to say something else though, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I should have said a long time ago, actually. Many, many thanks to everyone, because in ModDB's Mod of the Year awards, we came like 7th or something, 7th or 5th or something like that, in the Player Choice, which is I don't really understand their awards all that much. They called it the Player's Choice Award, but I thought that was the only award. I thought that was the whole point of it, is that everybody who's on ModDB votes for the favourite mod, and that becomes the Mod of the Year. But there's not. There's Editor's Choice and Player's Choice. And anyway, so bar that. But we came 7th. Enough people voted for us. That's outrageous. We beat Third Age, which is crazy, because you need Third Age to play DaC. Therefore, by extension, surely, Third Age should have won the vote, but it didn't. So I'm thankful to you all. I mean, we don't really use ModDB because I think the comment section is a nightmare, and I just don't really like ModDB. It doesn't really work very well on my phone either, which doesn't do it any favours.
The day has ended.
Oh wow, we lost hardly anyone. Dwarven defenders killed 200, and they'll go to be nothing. Bum, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. There's a lot of dead people. Now that image in my mind, I want to say, I kind of know the story. I can think of someone in the First Age who weeps over the burial mound of a load of dead people. And that's exactly what that image is. So far I've not told you anything you don't already know. But I'm sure I know what it is. I just can't think. The Silmarillion isn't a cohesive narrative. It's not easy to read it and take it in like you would a normal book. So it's it's easy to get these things totally skewed and missed in your mind.
Aye.
Right, there and there. That should free up a bit of money. No, we're still losing money. Oh, because High Lord Barlin has arrived at
By
Dunyard.
your will, sire, we shall engage.
We'll use the ladders. Siege towers
We
don't
shall
really
hold them
any
to siege,
need.
sire.
Oh, good lord,
Aye,
you've got
sire.
4 units
We
of
hold
Wolf
them at
Swordsmen.
siege.
How on earth have you got those? And you're the faction heir, very cheeky. Huntmaster Frecker. Dares. If you're wondering where this image is from, it is from the Door of Durin. Enun Durin ran Moria, pedo melon amino. And where's the battle map that everyone says crashes? Is it that one? Or is it that one? Is that one? No, I don't think that is one. The solution, of course, to that being a crashy battle map is just to move it south. Best bet. Just move it to the one below and then it'll solve the problem. Or is it one along here? Is it that one that people keep saying? Because again, if that one is crashing, I can just remove that one and force you to go through the veil. Ah, right. Well, first things first, merge them all together and train those that can be. Which is none, because we've got no money. And what's about the other side? Oh, you're a pathetic army. But I won't rush out at you just yet. But the survivors from here, I think, probably won't actually be strong enough. We're about to take Northern Tharbad, though, with a sizable army. And Dunyard is definitely going to fall.
Something to invest.
Give it another end turn. Oh, I forgot about you. Ugh, curses. That battle map, yeah, as I say, I'll just move the river crossing because, unfortunately, it's a real trial and error game because the game, I mean, it is a standout for its time. I think I was too young to really pay attention to computer games then, but the battle maps are generated off of the campaign map. So as you've seen, if the campaign map is steep, the battle map is steep, but that often leads to problems, as many of you are pointing out, whereby it's so steep you can't even fight it. And those we're trying to obviously avoid. But it does involve so much playing around with the terrain map to try and get the battle map to work that it's actually 10 times easier just to move the crossing away from the steep hill. And that's what I'll do. Or you could just make the river shorter and not even need the crossing, which is also an equally workable tactic. Welcome to Northern Tharbad, a generic Gordon city. A generic Gondorian city. Now the enemy is attacking us, and they've started very far away, which is very foolish. They also don't have any speed, and we have 3 units of archers. So capitalise on that, move those down there. We have our own pikemen here, ready to flank in. And the nobles should be enough, but we'll take these 3. Go on this side. Put him behind, speed it up, and away we go. There has been talk in the testing group, and I believe in the forum, before I added him to the testing group, from a gentleman called Cryo, or really his name is actually C.Rio. And there has been talk of making a unique battle map and campaign strategy model for Tharbad. So there'd be a ruined version, and then there would be a rebuilt version. But unfortunately, the campaign strategy map models work in very much the same way that the unique battle map models work. And I am not entirely certain we have room for any more campaign strategy models of a unique nature, or indeed unique battle map models. So that may never come to fruition. Now, the standard problem here is that the crossbowmen take so long to reload, and archers take a while to fire as well, that those units, and we're never going to kill very many before the enemy arrives. But if the pikemen are going to change direction, as are those pikemen, then we can just keep running away from them. What are you doing? You're reloading. I need a good shot, come on.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
They don't have any armor, they don't have any shields. Those crossbows would be one-hit kills, surely. What have they done there? Ah, they're still letting you shoot them. And if you guys maneuver around a bit. Hit them in the flank. On Hûbub, you shoot those warriors. You shoot those warriors. You keep shooting those. I don't think they're after you. I'm not sure if they're after you. I think they're after you.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue,
No,
only
they're after the
half
nobles.
the enemy force remains.
How about over here? Oh, look at those. They are doing exactly what we want them to do. Sitting ducks. And they're wavering because of it. Oh, the farmhand pikemen have been killed. To the last man. Dear oh dear. That's what happens when better pikemen go up against worse pikemen. It's a slaughter. And our nobles, despite being slow, are faster than pikemen in spear
The
wall.
enemy
Unfortunately,
general
they're
has no
not
honor.
changing out of
He
spear wall.
flees the field of battle and abandons his men.
But the dwarves are slow, so you've always got to take that into consideration. Turn and shoot these guys. As soon as they run away, it's all over. And they'll run soon. Everybody's shooting them, I trust.
Look how our
And
and all of the
we lost
victories
3
we
men.
have won here.
I believe that's a depiction of the Battle of the Five Armies. Because that looks like an elf. There's a bit of an ear sticking out. That looks like an elf as well. That looks a bit like an alien elf.
A proud victory.
Oh,
Our
look at the
most
money.
noble
There are
conquest,
16,000 people in Northern Tharbad. Well, 3,202 of them have just paid with their lives for their stupidity. We get 4 units of defenders in the east and only 1 in the west. Oh, no, I did that on purpose, actually. I remember doing that. Under the belief that the west would take a lot longer to fortify, therefore it would
The time's come,
have less
lads.
men
To
available.
battle.
I believe that might be Sauron fleeing in bat form. Not entirely certain with that one, I'm afraid. Defending. Oh no, you know what we should call this episode? Orn Hûbub. Because I don't even know what it means. Oh, the western side. The world's most annoying battle map. Right, I think we could probably do this with defenders only, to be honest. So, oh, we're all over the place. Let's. Oh, there we are. Right, so all 4 of you, please, come into shield wall, defend yourselves, and then come with me. Stand there for now. Right, we've got archers. Stand there for now. Stand there for now. And you guys stand there for now. If it comes to it, there's some pikemen who will move in a moment. There's some spearmen. We can also move in a moment. We'll use both of them. Just because the enemy probably will try their annoying and frustrating and furious tactic of just pressing on for the centre, which is what they tend to always seem to do now. Pause the battle. See what happens if we make them all stand on top of each other. Because if we can, we want our archers to stay on this peak where they can all shoot over each other. Ah, those top ones won't be able to. That's right. That is okay. And the last line of defence, our general. How are we all diddling? Everybody, if you could run, actually. I'll tell you what we should do, is take you guys off of defence. Are you kind of standing in the right place? Oh, what are you idiots doing?
The battle is very much in our favour. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Go back to defensive. Fanning out like nutters. There you are. Now stay defensive. All of you stop and just stay defensive. Our archers will finish them wherever possible. Oh, come on, archers. That's a perfect attack mob. Look at that. You're not coming through here, laddies. Let me tell you that now. This bridge belongs to the dwarves. that rain of hell down on top as well. That's just so cool. Boop, boop. Welcome to Khazad-dûm. This land is under the control of High Lord Barlin and the Dwarven Empire, and it will remain as such. Kindly retreat from this bridge and die. Now, the best units on the enemy side are again the Hobgoblin Infantry, the Heavy Goblin Infantry. And didn't they have some Mountain Orc Hunters? Aren't they probably off somewhere screaming at the heavens again? The AI absolutely loves that ability.
Good tidings.
Yeah, there they are, chanting like nutters.
Dead. We have sent the cart to hell.
It does increase the morale of all your troops, so it totally is legitimately useful, especially on a weak army like the Goblins. But at the same time, the Mountain Orc Hunters are one of their best units, and the only real hope they ever had to win this. So, not using it is something of a stupidity. Oh, it would appear that they've also foolishly decided to attack the dwarves, who have pushed back. The enemy general has died. Oh yeah, look, the dwarves are going for it. They're really going for it, aren't they? Ah, you might as well go. Might as well go mad. We're about to kill him.
Only half the enemy force remains.
We've only killed half, but we've slaughtered loads. How is only half left? This is everyone. How is this? It's madness. That is absolute madness. Lies and slander, I say. Obviously, we've only used our defenders, so it doesn't matter how many of us die. Get involved, lads. Strange terrain here, isn't it? Where they kind of disappear into the ground and then they just pop up when they get to the right point. See, they just ping into existence.
The enemy army flees the field. This is a clear victory.
We lost 375, but hopefully all from our defenders. Yep. They almost didn't even kill the most. The archers almost killed more than them anyway. In fact, all three... Well, 2 of the archer units killed more than 2 of the defender units. But 147 at the top. There's a nice image of Sauron, standing before Mount Doom and Barad-dûr. Orodruin, the Mountain of Fire. Although, I don't think Orodruin means Mountain of Fire. I think it means something else. Because I don't think ruin means fire. I can't really remember off the top of my... I know that Nor is flame, but I can't remember if ruin is fire or not. I think it means something else. Anyway, that's by the by. Kill them all. Kill them all. Well, I think I'll end the episode there when we've finished diddling around with the turns. Oh, yes, please. Oh, Dale are doing well.
Aye, my lord.
Apparently. Looks like we're going to have to save the world. Who do we actually have to kill? Dunland and the Misty Mountains, that's it. And take Dunlarak and Goblin Town. Well, we've just started earning money. We're no longer besieged. All of those are retraining. Don't need any Zenith Guard, but I'll take some archers. Oh, I can already train more. I really need... I hope I did tone the training of them down for when you all got your hands on the game. Because you can train them way too easily. Go on, we'll get one of them. I'll tell you what we will do, actually. How many of you got training? You've got 2 units coming along, and you've got 2 units coming along as well. And we've got a spare general, actually, so let's just take everyone.
My lord.
Leave behind our heir.
Leading the men with honor, sire.
Jesus, that's an outrageous... Never should have done that. That was a crazy payment. What did he must have had? Dear. Screw it. Press on.
Set a watch.
We just lost so many of our forces unnecessarily. Oh, and the Orcs of the Misty Mountains got Keren Amroth. They're going to be coming at us. Oh dear. At least got Northern Tharbad. That'll be blacksmith. That won't be actual training. Oh, we can upgrade it into a mining complex, which is a town. But no, that's why we're making money. Northern Tharbad, and both of these towns are no longer being besieged, which means their money's free to us again. But there we are, very successful. We've taken Northern Tharbad, we've cleared out the orcs quite substantially from both Khazad-dûm East and West. I think we're probably going to rethink Ferry. We'll probably have to send him back. I don't think we can risk leaving it with just those units and the units we've got on train. But if we can take Zag Kala, we'll massively cut down the Misty Mountains' abilities to attack us. So, that's the plan. So, thank you very much for watching this episode, if indeed you have. I hope you've enjoyed the modding information I've spoken about. I hope you also enjoy the new, in my opinion, better faction banners. Much less gamey. They look more general bannery. I like them a lot. There'll be a change to the Khazad-dûm one and a change to the Enid Wythe one by the time you get to play it. But as soon as he uploads that as well, I will add that to my own game, so you'll see it here first. But for now, that will be all. Stay tuned on Sunday for a faction overview video. Obviously, there's no video on Saturday. So stay tuned on Sunday for a faction overview. And then we continue on throughout the week. Still, odds on for which campaign you think is going to end first. Are we either going to win one first, or is Angmar going to lose first? Do let me know what you think. But until we speak again, my friends, Navar Naden Pedimad Melonin, and farewell.